Hello everyone, Kalen North here, and today we're going to switch things up a bit. I want to walk you through one of my favorite spirit duets, Lightning's Swift Strike and Thunderspeaker. Now, this is not my route. For that, credit goes to Jan Erb on Board Game Geek. A link to their original post is in the description below if you'd rather read about it. This combo is absurdly strong, and especially shines in the hardest matchup we have so far in the app, England 6. Now, without further ado, let's destroy some colonists. I'm going to use boards B and C for this run. You don't have to by any means, but I happen to like where the Dahan placement is when we do this, as well as the starting placement for Lightning's initial sacred site and where we're going to build to. England level 6, and go. Invaders start in the mountains. This is going to give us a chance to take out an explorer and land 7 and prevent a build. In fact, on this board, if they explore in the jungle, you can do it. If they explore in the wetlands, you can do it. If they explore in the sands, you can't do it quite as easily because, unfortunately, all of the sands are adjacent to 2 buildings to start with. Now, Lightning's strategy for this game is going to be pretty straightforward if you've played Lightning with a reclaim loop before. We're going to start by adding 2 presents from the top track, setting up a sacred site for targeting. And then we're not going to play any cards on the first turn. This may feel like a bad idea to some of you, but trust me, it's going to work out pretty well. Now, Thunderspeaker, we're going to place 2 presents from the top track, and we're going to be placing that presence in order to start spreading across the board and set up Dahan armies to blow up invader-heavy lands with Manifestation of Power and Glory. In this case, let's see, we're going to probably benefit a lot from going ahead and simply setting up in the mountains. So I'm going to set up in that mountain, and I'm going to set up in that mountain. Turn 1, we're going to play Sudden Ambush, get that build prevention, and Lightning is going to do nothing. So Sudden Ambush here, we'll bring the presence along, and let them go. Now they do unfortunately get a city there and land 7 on board C, but we'll deal with that later. We can actually let lands 2 and 7 blight potentially. England isn't very time pressuring. They are a lot more just inevitability pressuring. And so taking some early blight doesn't hurt us all that much. Now, we do want to set up the jungles as best we can. So I'm going to go ahead and actually gather 2 Han from that explorer into this jungle right there. Turn 2, Lightning's going to make another sacred site. I'm going to go into land 4 on board B. We're going to use presents from the bottom track this time and start our loop. We can't afford all of our cards. Our main loop is going to be these 3 plus 0 cost powers from the minor power deck that we get on our reclaims. Now, this turn, we want to set up counterattacks where we can, defends where we can with words of warning, and generally keep the invaders under control as best as possible. So, in order to do that, I'm going to actually go ahead and add 2 presents up here. Play words of warning. And now we go and see the basic part of the combo, which is going to be Lightning's Boon to let Thunderspeaker blow up buildings fast with Lead the Furious Assault and Manifestation of Power and Glory, and Lightning just doing lightning things, blowing things up with Thundering Destruction and Shatter Homesteads. So, to deal with land 7 up here, I know I said that we could probably skip it, but right now this is going to be a great thing for blocking off the wetlands if we can get rid of it. So, I want to actually go ahead and Lightning's Boon, and then use Gather the Warriors to bring in some Dahan. I'm going to go ahead and grab these 2 Dahan from down here. We're going to potentially just let land 1 up there blight later, and move my presence in. Lead the Furious Assault and Words of Warning in order to take care of that land. We're going to Harbinger Lightning 1 more Dahan in, as well as 1 Dahan down to here. That'll let us take out the town, or the city, and the Explorer, while this sets up for next turn. We can get a counterattack taking out the Explorer without necessarily needing to do much about the town other than blow it up with Shatter Homesteads or Thundering Destruction. Now, we do need to do something about this land, so I'll go ahead and Thundering Destruction there. And then we can actually save the last Shatter Homesteads for the slow phase, and we'll probably use it to blow up the town in land 8. So, finish using powers. Invaders ravaging the mountains. We take a blight, but we handle it pretty well. Oh, and there we've managed to deny them a Wetlands Explorer. So, Shatter Homesteads down in land 8. Doing that to preempt for next turn. And we begin our Reclaim loop with Lightning. Gain a minor power. In this case, we don't really want any of these except maybe Purifying Flame as far as the 1-cost powers go. And Enticing Splendor will work fine, but it's not... the Dahan movement is good, but it's not not necessarily the best one to have for long-term looping. Fortunately, we're going to gain a new one every turn, so we'll find out if we have something better to replace it pretty soon here. Now, Enticing Splendor doesn't have a fire element, so Thundering Destruction's stuck at level 1. That's going to be fine, honestly, because we're going to be blowing up towns this turn. We will want to be able to hit cities eventually, but a lot of our handling of cities is going to take place via a manifestation of power and glory rather than via something else. Now, we can add 2 more presents with Thunderspeaker this turn, finish off our top track, and start our bottom track, playing Voice of Thunder and Manifestation of Power and Glory. Let's see. We're going to want to start working on these wetlands here pretty soon. So I'm actually going to go ahead and set up presence on these Dahan in order to set up a manifestation this turn. Is that right? No, that's not right. I don't know that we really have a better target, unfortunately. We could go ahead and try and blow up land 2 over here, but one of the drawbacks of this opening is that we don't get any animal element this turn, and so we have to rely purely on Voice of Thunder as our Dahan movement. So in order to take advantage of that, I'm actually going to just double up presence in this land, and then we'll move these guys over and blow this up. So, finish playing cards. We need to Thundering Destruction down here to take care of this land. Shatter Homesteads here will save us a city. Lightning Spoon. And, oh, I did that wrong. We want to Shatter Homesteads here. Take care of this. We could destroy it with Lead the Furious Assault, but, well, actually, yeah. Never mind. Let's do that. Shatter Homesteads here. Lightning's Boon. We'll set up Lead the Furious Assault there, and we're actually going to then save Voice of Thunder and Manifestation of Power and Glory for after the invaders go. We'll still have enough damage to clear out land 1 entirely. We can't really do much about land 6 right now, unfortunately. But that way we can actually save these Dahan here to do a counterattack. You know, I say that and then immediately realize, oh, nope, it's blighted. We can't Enticing Splendor there. We can, however, harvest the lightning there. Which we should actually save for later on so that we get the fear. So this is going to be all we do right now. Invaders are going to get to build in the wetlands. They're not going to build in land 8 because we've cleared out some of this inland area. Invaders are going to ravage in the jungle. We'll take a blight, but the other 3 jungles are handled. Invaders are going to try and build in the mountains. They will get a mountain build here in land 3. They won't get a mountain build here in land 7 or in land 7 on this board, so that's good. So we have to use Enticing Splendor in the fast phase. We can save Harbingers of the Lightning, but we can't save Enticing Splendor. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab these 2 Dahan from over here so that they're a little more effectively placed for dealing with this jungle or potentially this wetland later on. England's starting their capital up here. We're going to go ahead and use that on the sands. And this land is quickly becoming a problem, but we'll blow it up in a turn or so here with Manifestation of Power and Glory. So, Harbingers of the Lightning. We'll go ahead and push these Dahan down into here. Manifestation of Power and Glory to clear it out. And then Voice of Thunder. Actually set up over here and push 1 Dahan into this mountain to start setting up for that explosion later on. Lightning's going to reclaim, gain a new minor power. In this case, Fire in the Sky is pretty useful, generates fear and strife, and has fire element, but it does cost 1. Sap the Strength of Multitudes is potentially useful if the invaders go into the jungles again or into the sands. But I think I'm actually going to go ahead and take Twilight Fog Brings Madness, because we can use it fast to get extra strife, which may allow us to prevent some unfortunate blights without necessarily needing any defense powers. So, we'll play our cards for the turn. Still no 0-cost fire element, which is fine. And now Thunderspeaker is going to reclaim. Thunderspeaker's minor powers we want to look a little differently from what we're looking for on Lightning. We are going to have more excess energy to work with on Thunderspeaker, first off. Cycles of Time and Tide is encouraging, because extra Dahan are always going to be useful here. Shadows of the Burning Forest and Land of Haunts and Embers aren't going to do too much for us, what with Thunderspeaker's destructive potential. And Rite of the Land's Rejection could allow us to get a lot of extra Dahan movement, which could be very useful, as well as preventing builds against England, which we'd love to do. I'm going to go ahead and take Cycles of Time and Tide, though, because I think that getting some extra Dahan is going to be the most valuable thing for us there. And here we have Gift of Living Energy is going to be our slam dunk. It's got Sun and Fire elements, which is great for our Lead the Furious Assault innate. And it gets energy to Lightning, which potentially opens up Lightning's ability to play cards just like mad. The other option we could do is Scour the Land. That is useful against England, just because obviously they have so much stuff. And doing a triple destruction of towns can, save us the game potentially. I don't like Scour the Land quite as much as I like Drought for this matchup, just because Thunderspeaker can usually get the threshold on Drought and take out a city as well as some towns. But I'm going to take Gift of Living Energy for now. Now, this turn, I'm actually going to be using Sudden Ambush again and save Manifestation for next turn. The reason for that is that I want to take out this Explorer here in land 7. And because the build is going to occur after the Ravage in the Wetlands, we're going to be able to take care of this second building that's next to it and just totally clear that off, which means we're only going to have 1 land left on this board that has anything in it. It's going to be a terrible land, but it's one that we can take out shortly with Manifestation of Power and Glory. Let's see. Then for second power, let's go ahead and take Cycles of Time and Tide, which we're going to use to 1, turn on Lead the Furious Assault, and then 2, to get an extra Dahan in here for our eventual Manifestation of Power and Glory. So, Sudden Ambush here, get that Dahan somewhat back into play. It's getting closer to the other board, which is relevant. Lightning's Boon, Lead the Furious Assault to take care of that. Cycles of Time and Tide to get an extra Dahan. And then we're going to go and look at Lightning's powers. Invaders are going to ravage in the wetlands this turn. This wetland is basically not taken care of at all, so we want to do something about that. And we want to do something about this little guy standing here in land 7. I'm going to actually just let this wetland go. We're going to use Twilight Fog Brings Madness to sort of strife it up, and then Harbingers of the Lightning to push some Dahan into there. We want to use Twilight Fog first, of course, because otherwise the Dahan get pushed out, get injured, that kind of thing. And then Shatter Homesteads and Thundering Destruction, we have some options. This will prevent a city if we go here. We could save one to destroy the town in land 7 after they build. And I think that's actually what I'm going to do, because we're not going to need to worry about this land immediately getting out of control. We'll have time to take care of it next turn. So go ahead and Shatter Homesteads. That gets us our Fear cards, so we avoid the double build in the jungle. And save Thundering Destruction for the slow phase. Gather the Warriors we are going to use to put stuff into this land shortly, but I want to wait until after the Ravage so I can grab these Dahan from down here. So, finish, and we'll finish everything else in the slow phase. Each player adds Strife in a land with Dahan. Well, I guess we didn't need Twilight Fog Brings Madness. Let's go ahead and Strife one of these cities and the other city. Now that land is dangerously close to getting out of control. We lose if they get a single other building in there. But fortunately, we're going to be able to take care of it in the fast phase before they get that chance. So gather 2 Dahan from there and push them in. Thundering Destruction to take out this land, or to manage that land. Now that double build in the wetlands is obnoxious, but we're going to be able to take care of it. So Lightning Reclaims and Gold's Allure. That'll do it. 0 cost, Fire Element, somewhat irrelevant ability, but hey, it lets us start destroying cities, and that's what counts. So we're going to play Shatter Homesteads, Harbingers of the Lightning, Gold's Allure, and Lightning's Boon. Thunderspeaker, we're going to get up to 3 card plays this turn. We really want this explosion to be big. We don't need to take out everything, but we do have 4 health from that, another 9 health from those, and 2 health from those. So that's a total of 15 health. Right now we're only looking at dealing 12 damage, so I'm going to put another presence in there. And then that should be enough that they just take themselves out on the Ravage. And then for our other presence, it doesn't make too much of a difference at this point. I am going to put it with a Dahan, of course. Probably right there because we want to set that up. So Manifestations of Power and Glory. We're going to want to destroy some buildings in the wetlands this turn. So I want a Words of Warning so we don't need to actually take out this building on its own. Oh, and of course I have 3 plays now, so I can do Gift of Living Energy, which is going to... Actually, I didn't need the extra presence there because we're going to have a ridiculously the Furious Assault available to us. Do we have a better manifestation target then? Probably not that we can set up in time. So I am still going to use manifestation there. But with Gather the Warriors and Lead the Furious Assault, we'll set up something particularly destructive after that. So, Gift of Living Energy, we're going to go ahead and give that to Lightning, which is going to free up some possibilities in a turn or so here. We're going to Lightning's Boon, Thunderspeaker, and Manifestation of Glory. Is that all of them? There we go. All right, so that land is taken care of. It'll destroy itself on the Ravage. We're going to go ahead and Words of Warning here. And let's see. Oh, that jungle is getting out of control. We can take out one of those cities with Thundering Destruction. And I'm going to actually Gold's Allure and Fast Speed. Strife on one of the Explorers, and then Shattering Homesteads there, so that we can take out this land and prevent that build there. I was just going to use Gold's Allure to get it after the build, but this is much better to prevent the build entirely. Now, we can't use Harbingers of the Lightning fast because of that, and so the question is, do we want to gather the warriors or lead the Furious Assault in the fast phase? And I think the answer is no, because we want to potentially take advantage of the fact that we've got Lead the Furious Assault at its higher threshold this turn. So we're going to go ahead and finish using powers. Not a very useful fear card. Some nasty building in the wetlands, but we can take care of that. Now, this turn, or in slow phase, let's see here. We want to take out this wetland as effectively as possible so we can stop the build over there. And we want to take out this wetland pretty soon because otherwise we're going to have some serious problems. In order to do that, though, I think that we want to prioritize this one. So I'm going to go ahead and gather the warriors. Gather it from here. And unfortunately, that explored again, but we'll go ahead and grab these and push these all into here. We're pushing all these into here because we want to set up this giant Dahan army to manifest in these two lands later on. But for now, the main thing we're doing it for is just to destroy everything with those. Lead the Furious Assault. Harbingers of the Lightning. Let's see. We're going to use that to take out, or to get a couple more Dahan down into this land in advance, so that next turn we can manifest on the fast phase and just simply clear the land. Now, I'm going to go ahead and reclaim cards, gain a minor, and, oh, there's Drought. We're going to go ahead and take that because we might be playing it on this land up here. But the fun thing this turn is because we've got that extra energy now, we can potentially start using some of Lightning's other cards, or some of these one-cost things like Drought that we've sort of been ignoring up until now. Like Thunderspeaker is also going to need to reclaim. We'll go ahead and gain 2 minor powers. I think getting more Dahan is going to be just too much fun to ignore. And getting Lightning an extra card play, perhaps. This has great elements for us, so let's give it a shot. So we're going to do Manifestation of Power. Oh, we are low on energy. Excuse me. If we want to do that, we can manifest this turn, but it's going to be a little bit more limited. And we're going to go ahead and set up lightnings cards. And I am going to be Gift of Living Energy Lightning again. So I think that this turn, it's going to be worth it to simply wait and take advantage of Gold's Allure once more. We don't have the threshold on Drought, so while we could take out these two towns, we're not going to be able to hit the city, and we are going to blight the land, which is going to cause a cascade. We could try and hit this Sands with it, but that doesn't seem quite as useful right now, again, because we're not destroying the city. So instead, I'm going to just set up Gold's Allure in order to set up some counterattacks down here, or possibly in here on the next turn. So, Gift of Living Energy, feed Lightning. Actually, Gift of Living Energy, we're going to feed ourselves because we are going to want to, on the next turn, uncover that Reclaim 1 spot and be able to play some expensive cards. We need to Lightning's Boon down here. I'm going to Harbingers of the Lightning. 2 more dudes into here, because right now we have 9 damage, which isn't going to be enough. Well, actually, wait. Sorry, not 9 damage. We have 6 damage, which is not nearly enough. So we're going to Harbingers of the Lightning these folks down into here. Bring our Presence Discs, and then Manifestation will easily clear the land. We do have level 2 Lead the Furious Assault again. Which is going to be pretty handy here in a moment. We'll probably Voice of Thunder these folks into here and then clear out the 2 towns in the city. In the meantime, because we are getting very low on buildings, which is wonderful, we're going to go ahead and gather everything into this mountain. Strife one of the explorers again. We are going to be able to just blow up the town pretty easily. And actually, yeah, we're just gonna blow up that town, because right now everything else is pretty well in hand. We do potentially have the option to play one of these now. I am going to wait until the slow phase. We also have Command Beasts up, but again, pretty irrelevant at the moment. So, finish using powers. You may choose a land to not ravage. That seems pretty useless to us right now. Alright, now this is getting close to that proud mighty capital, but we're going to take care of it before it gets there. So, Voice of Thunder. And lead the Furious Assault. Shatter Homesteads, I'm going to take out this lone town here, just so that we don't have to worry about it. And now, we're going to get our Reclaim 1 off of Thunderspeaker, which is going to be huge as far as being able to recur Manifestation over and over again for the rest of the game, which should only be another couple of turns here. So let's place that Presence, get that Manifestation. And now, let's Reclaim on Lightning. Ooh, Lure of the Unknown. That's another nice zero-cost firepower. We did have that option of getting some more expensive ones, but none of these are particularly appealing, so I'm going to just go ahead and grab Lure of the Unknown. And then, Let's go ahead and play Lightning's Boon, Shatter Homesteads, Harbingers of the Lightning, and do we want to Gold's Allure again to take care of that, or are we going to just take care of that with Thunderspeaker? I think we're going to just take care of that with Thunderspeaker. We are going to have a little bit of a problem over here, but we'll make do. So, Manifestation of Power and Glory. We could set up a sudden ambush potentially to get rid of this Explorer. We may have the ability to get rid of a bunch of these other buildings in advance, but it's probably not going to be as worth it. So, let's go ahead and have some fun with Spur On with Words of Fire and Words of Warning. Then with that, actually, I want to play... Let's go ahead and play Lure of the Unknown, because we're going to get to pull out Raging Storm and get Lightning's Innate up to level 2 on this turn. So, finish playing cards, Spur On with Words of Fire, Raging Storm, and now Thundering Destruction will completely solve this jungle alongside Raging Storm, meaning that we can go ahead and move this giant Dahan army we've been building a little bit further down. I'm going to leave it where it is there. Lead the Furious Assault to take out the buildings there and set up that counterattack. We are going to have a little bit of trouble with this land here, so let's go ahead and Harbingers these Dahan back in, along with a couple of Presence Discs. We haven't used Lightning's Boon yet, so let's do that. And go ahead and blow up as much of this land as we can, which is going to be not quite as much as I was hoping for. Well, we can take out those guys. Words of Warning, Shatter Homesteads, and Lure the Unknown to grab that Explorer out of the way. Then we've got just this land left. This land will get taken care of in the Ravage. This will be taken care of in the Ravage. This will be taken care of in the Ravage. We've almost got a clear board. So, let's see what we get on the Fear Face. Each player adds Strife, so, I mean, it doesn't make much difference. Ah, we can stop the Blight. Now we're almost done with the game. We're just going to gain another power here. It doesn't matter too much what it is. They call it Bloodshed. And we can go up to actually 4 card plays this turn if we want with Thunderspeaker. We are going to be able to afford to do that, so we might as well. I'll put a presence there and another presence there. We are at Terror level 2 already, so all we need to do is take out the remaining buildings. Which, with Lightning's overly full hand at this point, is going to be slightly interesting, but we can make it work. And Lure of the Unknown. Finish playing cards. Lightning's Boom to speed up Thunderspeaker. Gather the warriors into here. Add an extra warrior. Build them up with Manifestation of Power and Glory. And Shatter Homesteads to finish them off. Game over, victory. Now, this strategy I've found to be remarkably consistent at taking out England 6. It's just incredible what the destructive potential of Thunderspeaker combined with Lightning is. Being able to use Thunderspeaker's powers all in the fast phase almost. Being able to just blow up buildings with Lightning. Ignoring England's extra health condition. Overall, this has been one of the most fun two-spirit strategies I've found as far as clearing out very high difficulty adversaries. I hope you'll give it a try. If you're having trouble with England 6 or other high-level ones, this strategy does work for other adversaries as well, although, as in the original post, it's a little bit less consistent on Sweden. There's other ways to cheese them instead. But thanks for watching, and hope you had a fun time. Bye now.